Yes, hello, and a warm welcome here to my channel Bastelkiste. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, today we're talking about the EGR valve, or exhaust gas recirculation valve, which repeatedly causes problems. The check engine light comes on, you can't pass the inspection, and so on and so forth. In this video, I want to show you what the cause is, how you might be able to fix it inexpensively, or get it working again so the engine runs without the check engine light on, and how you can protect yourself from it as a preventative measure. Yeah, have fun with it. Yes, it usually starts out quite harmlessly. The check engine light comes on and, well, you go to the workshop and ask what's wrong, or you have a diagnostic tool yourself, like I do, and check it out. Yes, in this case, with my son's Audi, it then spit out the following error: exhaust gas recirculation valve malfunction. Yes, I'll get to how I solved the problem with the Audi in a moment. But first, here are a few pictures of a sooted up EGR system. Here you can see it's completely caked with soot. In a moment, you'll see the new part. This is what it should look like. And to make sure the parts stay looking more or less like they do when they're newly installed, we of course have to do something. And as I said, I'll show you in a moment what we have to do to make sure it stays that way. Yes, here's another video of a sooted up EGR valve, in this case from a VW Golf, taken apart by my colleague at work, and you can see there was nothing left to be done here. The part had to be completely replaced because he simply neglected, to maintain the system. And that's why it got to this point. Let's get back to the Audi. Yes, how did we do it? Well, I had already made a video about Mathy back then, and it was about the topic of AdBlue system contamination and so on. That stuff is really, really good. Others in the comments have confirmed it exactly as I tested it for you back then. And yes, now another year has passed. I ran a test for a year, and this time with the Mathy Diesel EGR valve cleaner. So, of course, we didn't want to take the Audi apart. It would have cost a lot of money. And then we thought, let's just try it with the Mathy Universal EGR valve cleaner. So that's what we did. So we went through 3 full tankfuls with this additive, and then every 6 months, yes, we refilled it twice more following the recommended schedule. In total, we put 5 separate doses into the Audi, and I have to say that after the 3rd dose, the warning light went out. And it did not come on again during the rest of our observation period. I then cleared it with the diagnostic tool. So it worked wonderfully, and as I said, it never came on again. So it should actually be quite effective. But of course, we also did something else. A colleague of mine has a BMW, and his EGR valve was extremely dirty, so it had to be removed. Here, I'll show you the pictures. Well, when he disassembled the EGR system, this is what he found. It was completely sooty and encrusted. And so the component was then thoroughly cleaned. And after a year, we disassembled the component again and took a look to see what it looked like. After 1 year, this is what it looks like. So no more deposits had formed. It stayed clean. And my colleague also says the fuel consumption was lower and the engine ran much smoother and had a very good throttle response. So the additive has a very positive effect on, yes, the entire engine system. So how do you do this exactly? It's actually quite simple. It also comes with a filler neck. When the tank is completely empty, just pour the additive into the tank and then fill up with 50 liters of diesel. So now, if the check engine light is on, you should, ideally repeat this 3 times. Maybe it will work after just twice. You'll just have to see. And then, as I said, as a preventative measure, you should definitely add the additive every 6 months. So I also do this with my car as a preventative measure every 6 months. Of course, I've never had any problems with the EGR valve on this Mercedes. But since I also drive a lot of short distances with the car, it's also likely, or the probability is very high, that the problems would eventually occur without the additive. What I also have to say is that the engine sounds much quieter. And my fuel consumption has also actually improved. So that was my contribution. What else can I say about it? Yes, the whole thing works chemically via the exhaust stream. the substance is brought to the sooty spot. It then burns or dissolves. I don't know exactly how it works, but in any case, the sooty deposit then goes away. Yes, if you're interested, I've of course left a link in the video description. You can check it out there. And yes, with that, I'm at the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed this contribution a little and that you can get your EGR valve working again. And with that, take care until my next video. Bye.